the last class, I started the topic for parts of speech. We are in the grammar. As I told to keep you 100-page book for the grammar. I hope you all kept the 100-page book for a grammar. Now, let's move on to the topic parts of speech. In the previous class, I told what is a parts of speech. Definition I want to give you. You have written in the 8th standard book with the meaning is same. So, just once you clarify what you have written. Words are divided into different kinds or classes called parts of speech. What is the parts of speech? Words are divided into different kinds or classes called parts of speech. Example. Suppose if your example I can give you. One example I gave you last time. She is a beautiful girl. She is a beautiful girl. Isn't it? This is a simple sentence where she we can differentiate as one group. C is a verb, then A, then beautiful, then the girl. Here we can differentiate it as a different. This is a pronoun, isn't it? Then verb, preposition, then beautiful, adjective, and girl is a noun again. Isn't it, children? So here different words, different word which comes in a different group of parts of speech. So which comes in a different group of parts of speech, and here we combine different words as a one sentences. Here we combine different words as a one sentences. So see here pronoun, verb, preposition, adjective and noun together we made it as a one sentence. So now I know this is the adjective, this is the noun, this is the pronoun. So I will tell this is the parts of a speech which as per my use I have used. Isn't it, children? So parts of speech is a what? Words are divided into different group or different kinds. Isn't it? See here where we have made it as a different kinds. As per its use or as per its nature we are differentiate. Isn't it? That is a parts of speech. Now I see I divided it as a different kinds of parts of speech. Which are they? How we are differentiate that we are going to see. So according to their users, the parts of speech are in 8 numbers. Which are they? First one, according to their users, it has 8 types. So first one, you all know noun. Noun definition also took, I think, isn't it? So see, I know that whether a noun is clear to you. What is a noun? Noun I can say as a simple. It is a naming a things or a naming a person or naming a individual. That is a noun, isn't it? Because to identify any particular with their identity, we use as a noun. Example. Soma, Rama, Bhima, Gopal, like this. Example, in the sense like individual we are giving or we are naming them as a Udupi, Mangalore, Belgaum, like that. City we will name India, Europe, Austria, Asia, like the continent or the world or the country, we divide it. So where we are particularly naming the person, individual, building, or the quality or the nature of a particular. So where we are giving as a naming or the title or identification where we give, that identification we refer it as a noun. So naming, what is a noun? Naming words are called noun. Isn't it? Naming the words are called noun. It is used as the name of a person. It is used as a name of a person, things, place, animal, quality and action. It is used as a name of a person, name of a person, comma things, comma place, animal, quality and action. Children, you may thinking why ma'am is reading slowly. Those who are not took the previous, if you got previous year notes, okay, you can refer it. But the topic which I taken you, that meaning you have to write again. This you already has done in your last class. So you can just what you have written, that you can refer and see. Suppose if you have lost your previous year notes, then you have to write the definition what I am telling, because it may helpful in the end of the academic. While you are writing exam, you can just revise it and you can recall the memories. So that I am reading slowly, so that if you want you can write down, which is not there in your previous year notes, that must and should you have to write down, children. Okay? Then noun. So in that type of a noun, do you know this one? Types of a noun. Types of a noun. In the types of a noun, first one is a common noun. This you have not written in your previous notes, so write down common noun. What is a common noun? Common noun are non-specific. Common noun are non-specific. Example, house, cat, girl, dog, etc. See, common noun in the sense which is non-specific. Non-specific in the sense where you don't know the proper identification, where you don't know the proper name of that particular. In that case, that category will comes in a common noun. Example, now you are in the 9th standard, isn't it? Now you are in the 9th standard. You know all of your classmates. You know everyone name, and you will call it them with their names. Suppose if any one or two got new admission to your class, do you know their name? No. Then you will refer them as he is or she is. Correct? Isn't it? That particular will comes in a common noun where we don't know their name or identification. In such cases, that comes in a common noun. Example, we will keep a name for our pet animals, isn't it? Whereas a street dog, street cat, we don't know the name. We will call it that cat is nice, that cat is beautiful, isn't it? So where we don't know the name, which is non-specific, that comes in a common noun. Whereas another one is proper noun. What is a proper noun? Proper noun example. Proper noun is a noun which help to distinguish a specific person, place or thing. These words should be capitalized. So how it is in the sense, proper noun in the sense, suppose see, out of that girl's group, she is my friend Kavita, I can say. Like an example, there are many group of girls, where I don't know who are they, but out of that girl there is a one girl and she is my friend Kavita, where you are giving identification that particular individual as your friend with her name. Are you clear, children? Out of that girl, one girl you are giving identification as she is your name. How you will give identification? By telling or naming her as she is your friend Kavita. So that is a proper noun where you know the proper identification of that individual. So remember that wherever you are using proper noun, the first letter of that proper noun should be capitalized. That is the symbol or the symbolic of a proper noun. See, even when you are using a common noun, though it is compulsory that wherever you are using a noun, it is a common assumption that it should be capitalized. But remember that when you are using a common noun, it is not compulsory to use a capital letter. Whereas when you are using a proper noun, even though in between the sentence, it is compulsory to use the first letter of the noun should be capital, because it is giving identification or specification to the individual with their name. Like Rama, Soni, Ili or Udupi. I hope you observe this in your sentence when you are writing, when you are addressing those things. Then the third one is concrete noun. What is a concrete noun? Write down. Concrete noun is a noun which refer to a people, and to things, which refer to people and to things that exist physically and can be seen, touched, smelled and heard. So what is a concrete noun? Concrete noun in the sense the things which you are representing or which you are referring as a noun, that things should be physically present in near to you. In the sense physically near, in the sense not exactly near to you. The thing should be available, physically available to. Example or table you can touch physically here, you can be touch or feel. Example, book, right, then the table, then what else? Board, then pen. These are which the presence of the things we can physically feel, isn't it? So we can physically see that things and touch. Such noun was called as a concrete noun. And remember that these concrete noun also come as a common noun, whereas a proper noun. Because I told you this is a book. Which book is that? Can you guess or can you identify which book is that? Then that book comes in a common noun. Suppose if I write English textbook, 9th standard English textbook, then that particular comes in a proper noun. Whereas if there is no identification, then it comes in a common noun as well as a concrete noun. Clear, children? Now, then one more is abstract noun. Then the fourth one is abstract noun. Abstract noun. What is abstract noun? It is the opposite of a concrete noun. Which are they? How it was? Write down. An abstract noun is a noun. An abstract noun is a noun which refer to ideas, qualities and conditions things that cannot be seen or touched, things that cannot be seen or touched, and things which have and things which have no physical reality, and things which have no physical reality. Example, truth, danger, then sad, happiness, smile. See children, from one question is that whether a smile comes in a concrete noun or a abstract noun, that you have to tell me. Okay, why? Because that is a small homework. Because I say sad, happiness I can feel, isn't it? I can feel. It is a feeling or it is a quality, but it cannot be touched. My happiness, can anybody touch? No, only the person, one who can feel it. You can observe it. That is a feeling. But it cannot be touched. That's why I assume it as a abstract noun. Whereas even the smile, happiness. Then what about tears? Tears, according to me, tears comes in a concrete noun, because that we can feel it, we can touch it, isn't it? That tear is a drop of a water which can fall down, or which can be fall, which can be seen. So the tears comes in a concrete noun, and the feelings of a sadness which cannot be touched, only it can be feel, that comes in a abstract noun. Abstract noun in the sense which don't have any physical appearance, we can only feel it. Clear children? What is abstract noun? Abstract noun is a quality which cannot be feel or touched. It can only feel. So it means that abstract noun which had no physical appearance. So the next one is collective noun. What is collective noun? See, the thing is children, we all are familiar with these kinds of a noun, but we may not notice or we may ignore the kinds of a noun. By giving the classification of the noun, I hope hereafter you will be clear with the types of a noun, that which are these nouns and in which category does it come. So, collective nouns refers to group of a people or things. Collective nouns refer to group of a people or things. Collective noun is referred to group of a people or a things. So as name suggests itself, it is a collective. Collective in the sense collection of a many. What do you mean by collective noun? Collective noun in the sense it is a collection of a many. So it should be gathered in a number more than a one. Where there is a more than a one, which comes in a collective noun. Example, what you can give? Family. Then family is a member of a many. It may consist of a father, mother, children, grandparents, uncle, sibling, isn't it? So where the members are living together. So I can say family, audience, jury. Jury, you know, jury in the sense it is a group of a judge. So group of a judge in the means more than a one. So they are comes in a collective noun. Collective noun in the sense where it is referred to group of a people. Students, isn't it children? Students you take. Student, if it is a one student, suppose more than a one, then it comes as a students. That comes in a collective noun. Students. Children, suppose only it is a student. Remember, if it is only student, then it comes in a common noun. Clear? Suppose I tell ninth student, then it comes in a proper noun. Clear? If suppose I say students, then it comes in a collective noun. If I say ninth students again plural, so it comes in a collective noun. So clear that one. Then the next one is count and mass noun. Noun can be either countable. Noun can be either countable, that refer to something that can be counted. Countable noun in the sense, noun can be either countable, that refer to something that can be counted. In the sense, if it is a noun, that noun should be comes under your counting. Example, books. Can you count this? Yes. Books you can count it. Then banana. Banana you can count. Then which are the other? Cherries in the sense, in a basket a cherries is kept or chilies is kept if that noun, remember children, I am telling countable noun, if that noun comes to your count, in the sense you can count. See, I can tell you count this chalk, then this comes in a countable noun because the chalk which are there in the box, that can be countable. So that comes in a countable noun. Whereas uncountable noun refer to do not typically refer to things. Do not typically refer to things that cannot be countable. Uncountable or a mass noun refer to which cannot be countable or which cannot be counted. Example, raindrops. Raindrops. Then happiness. And that cannot even help. You cannot be count. Then example, here see in the countable noun books, banana, money you can take, money you can count. The amount of money which was there in your pocket you can count, isn't it? So these are the things you can count. Uncountable of the mass noun refer to raindrops. Example, you can only tell there is so much of a rain or a heavy rain, but the quantity or the amount of the rain you cannot be measured. So that comes in the uncountable noun. Happiness. Can you measure the amount of happiness? Can you measure how much or what percentage of happiness you are feeling? You cannot. Then hair or the hair which was on your head, you cannot count. You can say that I have a thick hair, but you cannot count it. So the noun which cannot be counted, that comes in a uncountable noun. So which are the topics children we covered today? We refer parts of speech. In the parts of speech, noun is a naming of things we refer, isn't it? In the naming of things, common noun refer to a noun which don't have a proper identification or a common identification. Example, house, cat, girl or any such example we can give. Whereas proper noun refer to where you know the name of a noun or identification of the physical things, you know exactly. You can address them with their exact name. Such category comes in a proper noun. And concrete noun in the sense, noun which have a physical appearance. Concrete noun refer to a things which have a physical appearance, which will refer in a concrete noun, whereas abstract noun is only a feelings or a emotion which we can feel, but which have no physical appearance. Clear? Which example we can give to danger, happiness, etc. And see, raindrops I can give in a concrete noun because I can feel the raindrops, isn't it so? That comes in a concrete noun. Concrete noun have a physical appearance. Abstract noun which have no physical appearance. Then collective noun in the sense noun which are made it as a one group or which are gathered in a one group or which are counting in a group, that comes in a collective noun. Example, family, jury and students. Then the next one is countable noun in the sense noun which we can count in the numbers or which we know the measuring quality of a noun, or noun which we can present in a noun, that refer to a countable noun. Example, how many desks are there in 9th standard? You can tell, isn't it 16 or 14 desks? If it is countable, then it comes in a countable noun. Mass and uncountable noun refer to things which cannot be counted. Example, raindrops, happiness, fair, and that comes in a uncountable noun, which refer as a things which cannot be countable. Only we can feel it, we can touch it. Both it will comes in a uncountable noun. Children, now you are clear with the types of a noun. Hereafter, whenever you are getting any noun words when you are reading any book, either it may be your language book or any other English magazine if you are reading, if you get the word, you must be able to identify which kind of a noun it is and on what basis we are dividing it as a noun. Clear? Because we observe that few comes in a both common noun and countable noun, proper noun and uncountable noun. As per that it can be divided. So observe that proper noun according to me won't come in a which one? Collective noun, because collective is a group in the sense for a group we are giving a name. Clear children? See, proper noun where we are giving identification to one individual, that is she is a student of 9th, isn't it? Whereas collective in the sense 9th students, where we are not referring any one or two students, entire we take it as a 9th student. Whereas proper noun is a singular way we are giving identification to only one individual. So you must be read and analysis and differentiate which kind of a noun, on what basis it has been differentiated. Then what will happen? Your knowledge of a grammar will be improved. Remaining types of parts of speech, children, that I will do in the next class. Clear children? Till then what you have to do? You have to read and you have to differentiate the noun things. Till then children, see you.